Hello and welcome to this screencast. I will show you an editor for business process models with powerful user assistance. But before I show you the assistance, let me first show you how you can draw normal business processes using this editor. A process consists of pools. This is this rectangle, then some events, a start event, intermediate event, end event. Let us introduce an activity here. And then we have to connect these nodes by sequence flow. And this has become blue now. This means that it has been correctly recognized as a business process. We can add another pool here to make this example more real. This time with a branching via the gateways. And then we have to introduce some activities here. And we can connect this again. This connection drawing is rather tedious. I will later show you a way how you can skip this step. Okay, voila. Then of course you can give the pool a name. You can also give this a name, of course. Let this be a company, the other one a customer, and the customer may want to order a product from the company. Therefore he sends a message and receives a message, maybe with the shipping information. And this is a receive event now. So this looks already like a typical sales process. Okay. So what kind of assistance is possible now? Let us remove all this stuff and imagine for a moment you are new to business process modeling. You have opened the editor, have a white pane here, and now you wonder what can be drawn with this editor. What kind of diagrams are business process models? And what you can do now is you can click this question mark button here and browse example business process models. Therefore, you can set up a size here using these plus and minus buttons. And of size 1 and 2, there are no business process models, but here of size 4, we already have one solution that consists of 4 components, a pool and 2 events and an activity. So 4 components, we do not count the arrows. And this is the only example of size 4. We can also increase the size to, for instance, to 5. Or if we even more increase the size, then at some time we also will get a solution containing gateways. Or if we increase the size even more, then we get also solutions with several pools. This can be further increased, and you can always use such an example as a starting point for further editing. For instance, let's select one of these solutions, and you can commit and transfer this example to your editing pane. Okay, so this feature is called example generation. Another feature that we support is the auto-completion of business process models. For instance, if we remove this gateway here, this process is not longer well structured. We can again click the question mark button, and then we can derive missing components, but there is no solution of size 0. Okay, but if we increase the look ahead here, then we get our gateway solution. This is precisely the gateway we have removed before. Okay, it could also be the case that just a link is missing. In this case, there even is a solution of size 0. As already told you, the arrows are not counted, and the solution just introduces an arrow here. Okay. This feature is called auto-completion. The next feature I will show you is called editing operations. We can generate editing operations automatically that preserves the correctness of the business process model. The most basic kind of operations is the replace operation that is invoked via a shortcut. Let's replace this arrow, for instance, by an activity. We can also introduce some more components here. For instance, also a solution with some gateways, like this. Okay, and you see it's smoothly animated so that you can clearly see what happens here. Okay, let's commit again, and the solution is transferred to the main process. Okay. What you can also do is you can remove components in an intelligent way. For instance, say we only want this component, this activity here, and we want to disregard these components. Then it would be rather tedious to remove all these arrows explicitly. In our editor, you can just select these nodes, press the intelligent remove button, and the components are removed and the remaining diagram is reconnected automatically. You also can use operations, for instance, to introduce a synchronization point here. Say you want to synchronize here the branching, then you can just introduce two gateways. This is the solution, and you have a synchronization point here in the middle. Okay. The layout is a little bit slow, so this could be implemented more efficiently, of course. So what else can be done? You can also select, for instance, such a gateway, and then you can introduce other components in the context of this gateway. And here there are three solutions. You can, of course, introduce an activity on the top branch, on the bottom branch, or before the gateway. Okay, you can browse all these, and this is a way for syntax-directed editing in a freehand editor. Let's cancel this. Okay, so this is the generation of correctness-preserving editing operations, also with intelligent remove. Another very practical thing I already have mentioned is called autolink. I have already told you that it is rather tedious to to draw all the arrows manually. What we can do here is we can just roughly arrange. Let's say we can just roughly arrange some activities here and invoke this button. This is called autolink, and the arrows are introduced automatically. Let's provide some more complicated example so that you this is of course also possible. And for convenience, to show this more conveniently, I have an operation here that removes all arrows, and we can introduce another activity here. Then we have to move a little bit this gateway because it has to be right of the activities of the branches, and then we can invoke construction again and get our arrows be introduced automatically. Okay, so I have shown you the main features of this editor. Those features are, I recapitulate them quickly, the auto-completion facility that you can derive missing components. Then the generation of example diagrams. This is very useful for learning the language. Then, of course, the generation of correctness-preserving editing operations. Replace or the introduction of components in the context of selected components, or also this intelligent component removal. And last not least, the autolink feature that introduces the missing links automatically. Thereby the layout of the existing components is considered and mostly preserved. Actually, this autolink function is inspired by a plugin for the IBM WebSphere Business Modeler tool, where this already has been realized, such a functionality by Jana Köhler and others. Okay, this concludes the screencast. I have shown you the user assistance we have developed, and yeah, see you next time.